Okay, here we are. So happy to be with you, Heather Salmon. I feel like I'm sitting right next to you too. Maui, Hawaii. Gorgeous there, I bet. You know, about a month before the shutdown happened, all of the isolation and the safe at home, I was going to move, I was going to come to Maui.
I know.
I was speaking about that. I was going to do a retreat on Maui. So I'm so happy to be here with Heather Salmon. She's on Maui, Hawaii. And of course, you're with Marsh Engel, who is amazing woman, get it done. And that's about how do we stay focused? How do we stay creative? How do we stay innovative? How do we stay inspired? How do we stay healthy during this time and beyond? So I want to talk to you. You have a brand new recipe book out that's all about keeping a high vibe life. So tell me about that. Let's start there.
It is. So finally, we kind of had the time to finish our World Fusion plant-based soul food recipe book that was really inspired by our retreats. We host ongoing personal retreats, and Donnie and I do a lot of the cooking for the retreats, and I've been cooking for people for a long time, but that's not really my primary job or vocation necessarily. But people are always like, they can't believe how delicious plant-based gourmet vegan food can be and how quickly we get it done. So now that we've had the time, it's actually takes quite some time to get a recipe book done. Wow, there's so many details, and so we got it done, and it's we're going to be printing and sending it out this in a couple of days, and super excited.
Very excited. Now, what was the very first? Where did it start collecting recipes? What was the first recipe you developed?
Oh, wow. So it started when, Marsh, my old career, I used to be a professional actress in Los Angeles, and I was studying healing in the performing arts, and that took me into a journey of wanting to integrate healing in the performing arts. So I became a sound healer and a priestess, and very involved in the healing arts, and I wanted to create this like more group offering. So I did, and then the crash of 2008 came, and I had moved to Harbin Hot Springs. I left Hollywood and all that, so I was living in Northern California at this hot spring. So I wanted to live more in community and closer to the earth, and kind of walk my talk and hone some of my skills and crafts. And then Harbin, there's 150 people. We lived there. We ran the place. I started off working in the restaurant, in the kitchen, just like doing cashiering and cleaning. I was just happy to have a little change of pace for a while. But then after a while, it's like, okay, well, what am I going to do here? And then one of the chefs in the restaurant got fired. And I was like, I can cook. Hey, guys, I can cook. I can cook. They're like, okay, Heather, let's see what you can cook. So I actually started off as the dessert chef, and I was known for my I specialized in vegan, gluten-free, and raw food desserts, and those were all like a really big hit. I have all these great recipes, and then another chef got fired. He was like, I can cook. I can cook. They're like, all right, Heather, let's try it with some of these entrees. So, I went from like having no experience with this to cooking for 100 people a day in 4 hours. Like, it was nuts.
And then the hot springs had quite you had quite an experience there.
Yeah. The hot springs was amazing. So, I became this as the vegetarian and chef in the restaurant. I only cooked vegetarian, and I also made the desserts. So I was responsible for making like 2 entrees, fresh soup, and like 2 desserts in about 4 hours every day for about 100 people. So I worked in the restaurant, and then I taught yoga in the temple, and I developed my sound healing journeys in the temple there. And it was really a great place to be like, this sounds like a really full experience, and it was. But the great thing about being at the hot springs is that, kind of had a built-in audience. We had 100,000 guest visits that go through Harbin a year. And so I didn't have to worry about renting a venue, advertising, getting people there. It was all like, I just need to show up and do my thing and say, hey, this is, organize the time and maybe a flyer or whatever. So it it took the pressure off me in terms of all the marketing, and it allowed me to focus on my craft. And then I started developing workshops and retreats, and yeah, it was exciting. And then I met Donnie, and we partnered, and we, became partners. And he's my beloved, my spouse. He's a amazing producer and a keyboard artist, and has produced a lot of new age albums. And he was like, he listened to one of my meditations. He's like, "You're really good at that." He's like, "But you'd be even better with me." You need a little bling, a little music. Let's produce. You should have some CDs and all this. So we got together, and it was romantic and artistic, and we one thing led to another. And Donnie had a place here in Maui. This place we're at, she's had it for quite some time, and he was at Harbin with me for a year, really enjoying it, because he was kind of recuperating from the fallout of the crash of 2008. And I had this great lifestyle at Harbin with a house and everything. So he was there with me for a year. And then he was like, "By the way, we have this place in Maui. I don't know, this is so fun here at Harbin. Maybe we should sell it and just stay here." Because, I was bringing him gourmet food home every day. You got to go to the hot springs. You didn't have to worry about all the house maintenance, the land maintenance. I was like, wait, what? We have what? So I'm like, well, let's go.
That, Heather, what year did you move to Maui? How many years have you been there?
I moved to Maui at December 8th, 2012. So just, 2012. Yeah. So I've been here, almost going on 8 years.
And I think I've known you 5.
Yeah, at least.
5 or 6. I don't know.
Probably like 6.
Maybe 6. Yeah, that's very cool. So talk to me now about.
Because you were a big help with us, Marsh. Marsh is an awesome coach. Anybody need coaching out there? Support. She's a visionary. She sees things. I would have thrown in the towel on our retreats. I
remember that we were having dinner, and I said, I think there's a project that you've already had in development that really feels like it's time for you to act on it. And I said, is there something that you've thought about? And then you just kind of put it over on the side, and you said, well, yeah. I said, well, it's time for it. And that was your mystical alchemy, or your retreat center, and what amazing work you're doing there. Tell us a little bit about the retreat center, because I think that sets us up for how you had to shift your focus from a very, very popular, highly acclaimed retreat center that was filled with guests every week to make it a shift. Tell us about, how did the retreat center, where did you start? Because I love the idea, I love creativity. And I love the idea that creativity starts with simply one idea. It doesn't have to be big. And for you, it was your healing, your sound therapy, your priesthood.
And it was Donnie, my beloved, saying, well, Heather, I would just be so happy if I could just play music every day for an hour. I was like, okay, honey, that's going to make you happy, playing music every day for an hour or two. Again, how can we create a life around this, playing music that would satisfy him and satisfy me? So we had, I just kind of had my feelers out there. It's like, okay, how can we create this life that's, I'm a yoga teacher as well. So, theoretically I could go out and teach yoga classes, but we did that for a while here on the island. It's, a small island. And we have a lot of equipment we schlep with us when we're doing performance and stuff. So really that kind of, because it's such a small island, it's a small population to draw from. So I was like, well, I don't, and there's about a cajillion yoga teachers here. So I was like, okay, I don't want to compete with all of them. There must be something that we could do that's unique to us. And then to kind of, someone else was doing something similar to this that we knew that was trying to do something similar to this. And then I was like, oh, well, we could probably host personal retreats here. And
Heather, I just have to say, it went from what appeared to be the glimpse of an idea to a well-established, very full retreat center. What felt like to me, now it may not have felt that way to you, but what it was to me was overnight. It literally looked like it was an idea, and overnight it became established and well respected and highly sought after as a on Maui. So I talk a lot about, on the last episode, we spoke about how, and I talk often in my coaching sessions about, right now is that time to grab that idea off the shelf that's been percolating, because we have time. And when I talk to women, when I talk to the leaders and the entrepreneurs that I coach and that I've been interviewing, a lot of them, what they say is that during this time has been a great time to take an idea that they've been wanting to act upon. Like you just said, it's not a cookbook, it's a recipe book of your plant-based recipes and your really the meal plan that you've had in action for quite some time, but now you've had the time to put it into form because you're not filled with guests at the retreat center.
Right.
So it's a great idea. I'm just going to encourage anybody watching right now, if there's an idea that's been sitting on your shelf, or an idea that's been in your heart, kind of keeps surfacing back up, now would be the time to bring it out and see what can be created from it.
That's right. And along with our cookbook, Marsh, we created a course. So we just, as a part of our pre-launch, created this 5 days of live classes with Donnie and I right here in our kitchen, where people could beam in and be part of our, we made 5 different entrees and then some sides and stuff each day. We would do, one thing, and then that got all put into a course, and with the videos and the recipes, and then the ebook and some journal lessons. And then we're keeping that course alive. So we're going to create it as this ongoing recipe club. So every month we come up with a new recipe and a new video to launch and share. And so as part of our pre-launch special, people get the physical book, they get this course, and they get the ongoing, we're giving a 1-year membership for like $47 as a pre-launch special. And then we're still.
I want you to tell us where they can go for that. But before we do that, here's what I want you to tell me. Why is it so important that right now we look to a plant-based diet?
Well, because experts have shown that, science shows that they call it a planetary diet. I really want to honor people in traditions and wherever they are with their diets. But a planetary diet is, they say you could have like 1 meat serving and 3 servings of fish a week. And they said it would literally turn the course of climate change. And what the issue is that animal agriculture is creating to greenhouse gases, the carbon emissions. It takes and other valuable resources. So we're just using so much, like it takes 100 times more water to produce a pound of meat versus a pound of plant protein. So, as we can see already, what's happening on the planet is with things getting, everyone taking this pause, the carbon emissions are going down. They say that they've predicted that in China alone, it's saved 77,000 lives, just the reduction of pollution. So not only for the planet, but for us, that what we're experiencing. And in animal husbandry, it also contributes. There's dead zones in the water. So the what goes into the water is creating dead zones in the Gulf of Mexico and off of in the Pacific and, all over the place. So this is the most powerful thing you can do, in my opinion, to
the environment.
To help the environment and to help your own health. We know that also,
I know that
there's so many diseases that are related to, animal overconsumption of animal products, from heart disease to, cancer to, there's just, our diet's so bad. I wish that they would shut down all the fast food places. Never mind.
the other day.
You want to protect everyone's health. Let's protect everyone's health and shut down the root of what is causing this ill health, and people not being able to be resilient and to have their immune system strong.
So I want to get back to the fact that you have a very full, very popular retreat center, and all at once Hawaii, all air. No one could travel into Maui. Is that correct? No one can travel in. So that
they can, but you're subject to a 14-day quarantine, and you can't. There's nowhere to go. You can't go lie on the beach. You can't go to the parks. Everything's
not a good place to go right now. So what was your response? I mean, for me, I'll just own up that I had about 3 or 4 days that was a bit of a hiccup, because we had our live event planned. It was sold out. You were flying in. Dina Breslin was flying in. A lot of people were coming in for that event, and a decision to make. And I had about 3 or 4 days that was a bit of a pause within me that said, okay, now what are we going to do? But the minute I made the decision to see it in a different light, what is this opening up? What is this shift opening up for me, and opening up for this community, and opening up for the way that we can serve, and opening up for the difference we can make in a broader spectrum of lives? Then I got around the idea very, very quickly and anchored, put my feet down and started going, and nonstop. And when I did that, it was like the level of creativity was through the roof when I made the decision that I was making the best of this, and coming out on the other side of it even better is what my decision was. Tell me about your process, though. Everybody's had a different process.
Yeah, it's been, kind of luckily, Donnie and I had scheduled 2 weeks off for ourselves from towards the end of March to the first week of April. And that was kind of a blessing, because we would have been completely sold out. And everyone's, first reaction was, oh my God, I need my refund. I need this and that. And we actually, most of our clients, we've been able to take a breath. Everyone has been, except just for a couple, has been fine with our policy of rescheduling. So they get to reschedule. We give them 1.5 years, 2 years, whatever you need to reschedule. I'm sure after all this, everyone needs a retreat anyways. So most of our clients were great with that. Of course, we had a couple that we've had to, that we're having some other ideas around. So we're working that out. But from there, I was like, okay.
Really happened. I mean, you really haven't had the experience of having a pandemic hit where everything that was shut down and you had to regroup completely. I think that what I found is the faster we were able to pivot into letting go of the way we thought things should be and opening up to some new ideas, and that speaks to our creativity. And one of the things I promised on today's session is to talk about how can we expand our creativity. So one of the ways is that letting go of the way we think things should have been and opening up to spontaneous new ideas about the way they can be, and how can they be creative. So what was the first decision you made when you said, okay, was it the cookbook? Was it, what was it?
Well, we have a couple of projects going on. The cookbook was definitely, we've been doing a number of things. We have created a whole new platform for our management of our retreats, which took some time. We created a new video that we haven't released yet to promote our retreats, but that's already ready. We are redesigned our little spa area, so we've created a nice screened-in place, and I'm painting too now, which is great. And we created the recipe book, and we're creating a new app, which we're almost ready with. And next, we're going to be fleshing out our mystery school and creating our online.
That's fantastic, Heather. This is fantastic. So the pause has actually opened up a flow of creativity that had been probably percolating within you for some time, and now you've put it into action. So one of the things is that we've said that use that pause to pivot into new ways and taking things off the shelf that maybe have been put over on the side or have been in your heart to create and bring them into action. The other thing is stillness and cultivating stillness. And I know you're a meditation teacher, a yoga teacher, sacred sound facilitator. So talk to me about ways that you have been able to cultivate stillness within your own creativity or your own life so that more creativity can come through. The energy of creativity is huge. I don't know about you, but I'm like, I'm not even sleeping. It's like I have so much creativity moving through me right now that it's my sleep patterns have changed completely. I'm up through the middle of the night and in the morning, and just so much creativity, so much energy. How do you cultivate stillness so that more creativity can come through it?
So at the end of the day, Donnie and I usually have a nice we have a beautiful hot tub with this Neverlight Tesla clay in it. So it's a healing hot tub. We have far infrared sauna. And we do foot baths, and so every day we do something. Like we spend
self-care.
We do our self-care. Yeah, and then we're still also doing usually yoga classes online through our Facebook group, and ceremonies on the new moons, full moons through our Facebook group. So that's nice as a group offering. But for us, we step back and we do these self-care practices and just
have you found that self-care has become more important to us now, or all at once we're valuing it more now, or that we have the time? Or have you always had a strong self-care practice? I think you probably have, but do you find
it? I pretty much always have had a strong self-care practice. I mean, I remember living in Los Angeles, and my self-care there would be going to the Korean spa like a couple of times a week. And, back in the early 2000s, you can spend $15 and be at the Korean spa all day long. And you can go in the hot tub, cold tub, saunas, go back and forth. And for me, as a busy actress, during dealing with a lot of things, that would be my self-care practice. And then I lived at a hot springs. And then when we moved here, that was another thing. Donnie was like, yeah, I just want to have like our little own spa. So we created that for ourselves, and we definitely, it's beautiful here. We can be outside and do gardening and do also, that's part of our, we try to
actually excellent self-care. It really keeps us
outside every day.
So important. The other thing that I know that I use, and I also coach a lot, is ritual. Creating ritual around our day, structure around our day. And interestingly enough, when we think of ritual or structure, we often may not think that that's an encouragement for creativity, but I find that the more structure, the more creativity can flow through. The more I have my rituals in place, so I start my day, end my day, even throughout the day, pause. So talk to me about a ritual that you might recommend to anybody right now that would help to increase creativity.
Sure. I mean, as you mentioned, you have daily rituals. You can have morning rituals. You can have moon cycle rituals. I mean, I'm a big moon cycle ritual person. That kind of sets my energy and focus, by the full moons and the new moons. And then my daily rituals, got my morning wellness practice with my, just, from how I wash my face to brush my teeth. I have a whole ritual around my teeth because I actually avoided having a root canal and 3 root canals that one of my dentist said I needed by doing this amazing self-care ritual for my teeth, actually, in the past year. So So it depends on what's needed at the time where I'm feeling like I need support, So my rituals can change.
So sometimes we think of rituals need to be very sophisticated or very, like all kinds of formula around it or structure around it or step by step this. It can be as simple as, waking in the morning, getting a cup of tea and using that time to set intention could be a ritual. And
Yeah,
there's easy ways. Bathing can be a ritual. Like you said,
right.
brushing our teeth or even working in our gardens in the yard can be a ritual. The other thing that I think opens our creativity more than anything is gratitude. And
Mm.
right now, uh, because so many things have shifted and changed, maybe gratitude is a little more challenging to find. But what's your feelings about gratitude, and how do you practice gratitude? I think I have a feeling I know what the answer is here, but let me hear from you. How do you
Well,
practice
as
gratitude?
you might be able to see, you see those beautiful flowers back there? We have in that black chalkboard, it says gratitude is an attitude on that
Yeah.
chalkboard. Right there. So yeah, practicing gratitude, either journaling or reflecting on, what is there to be things. I really believe in to have at least 5 things that you're grateful for every day, because it's easy to get sucked in the spiral of negativity
And judging.
spiral of fear and the spiral of paranoia and all that right now. And it is a practice to look around, and wherever there's a breakdown, a breakthrough is inevitable. And so, don't allow yourself to be sucked in and have your power taken away from you. It's the time to step into our power and recognize what it is that you can do, that you have control over, and put your love into that, put your energy into that, and appreciate that you have the ability to do that.
Mm-hmm. When you said 5 times a day, I thought you were going to say 5 times an hour, because there is so much to be grateful for.
Well, there is.
It really is so much to be grateful for. I think that another way that we can practice gratitude is by giving our gifts and talents, by giving
Yeah.
our abilities, by giving our capacities. And many times I'm doing a coaching program right now around finding your emerging why, because I feel that many of us, we have an emerging purpose, we have an emerging why, we have emerging ways that we are bringing our work out to the world. There's so many new ways that gifts and talents and powers and potentials and all kinds of sacred energy is coming through now in ways.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the conversations is that to live their why felt selfish or self-serving. And I see it as the exact opposite. It's a practice of gratitude. I've been gifted this. Who can I give it to? I have the capacity. How can I share it in the world? I have this insight. How can I create that into something that can serve others? I think more than ever right now, our service to others is so essential, and opening up to seeing how very powerful we are at transforming. And in the book that we just had, it went #1, Lead Amazing Woman Lead. You have a beautiful chapter in it. Do you want to talk a little bit about that chapter for a minute?
Sure. My chapter was about living a life of significance, and I talk about, and it's just like you were talking about, Marsha. It's finding what your vocation is and how to align your gifts, your talents, your purpose, your passions with what you in your sacred service, with your time and energy, how to do that and how to navigate that. Activating your innate powers within as an internal guidance system to guide you along that path of living a life of significance. So tuning in and aligning with your true self, and aligning with the divine, and being able to ask questions and to receive guidance, and to activate your intuition, and the power of gratitude is something that empowers those intentions that you are setting. And so
and it's so very needed right now. I think more than ever, if we're not hearing the call or feeling the call, we will. because there's so many ways that we can serve and so many ways we're needed in the world right now. One of my favorite quotes is, right now, someone's noticing the difference you're making in their lives. And I feel that by recognizing that and knowing that we're bringing something that's significant to another and beginning to value that and honor that in a bigger way, then we can make a bigger difference in the world. That's what, to me, to walk our in purpose or to answer our call, that to me is exactly what it is. Recognizing it, honoring it, and bringing it out and sharing it in the world. For you, is there anything new as we get ready to say bye for today? Is there anything new that you can see shifting in your work? Are there any new talents, capacities, gifts, insights, anything new that's shifting in your own individual work that is maybe a surprise to you?
Not really. I just see myself doing more of some of the things that I love to do, as well, and some of the things that I really want to have some more time to share and carve out. I mean, I love creating courses. I've done it before, led people through programs. I am learning, new platforms like for my course development and funnels and all that cool stuff. All the marketing around that. So that's been interesting. I do see myself kind of having.
That's a talent to me. It's like finding. For me, I've never done streaming, of all these years, of all the live events I've done, I've never done streaming. So for me, the talent that I'm expanding on is similar to yours. It's more like looking at platforms, looking at our new apps that are coming out, looking at ways that we can reach a wider audience. And that to me is like expanding a talent that maybe we hadn't tapped into yet. And now it's time for us to learn it.
Exactly. And I'm excited. We're excited to share that way. And I think that we will be moving even more in that direction, that we might cut back on some of our retreats a little bit and spend maybe do like half the number of retreats and do half of our time doing more streaming and global, having global offerings.
So before we say goodbye, tell me where they can go to learn about your book, the 5-day course.
Sure. You can go to blackswantemple.org, blackswantemple.org. You can find us on Facebook, Black Swan Temple, and we have also Mystical Alchemy is our Facebook group, because we do the work of alchemy, mystical alchemy, we call it. So you can look, and I'm Heather Salmon. You can look at me, and we're also on Instagram under Black Swan Temple.
Also, I'm going to send a shout out because there's a free gift that you've given, which is your favorite recipe and a video. And you go to Amazing Woman Nation there. And when you go to Amazing Woman Nation, you're going to click on Amazing Woman Get It Done. When it drops down, you're going to register there, and you're going to see Salmon has. I actually left. I didn't ask if this is okay, so I hope it is when I get ready.
Oh, that's perfect.
And I left up the sound bath, though, that you had given from the Amazing Woman Lead giveaway. I left that up because it's so powerful. So when you go to amazingwomannation.com, you're going to see 2 gifts from Heather, and one of them is her favorite recipe from the new book, and also a video that goes with that, as well as an incredible sound bath experience. Because I'm really looking, what we're doing here with Amazing Woman Get It Done is give you the tools, give you the insights, give you the inspiration, the practices, so that you can stay centered, you can stay focused, you can stay in action. Because when we get to the other side of all of this, we're going to be stronger and better than we've ever been before, more inventive, more creative, more innovative, more inspired, more powerful than we've ever been before. And so I'm just so grateful you took the time to come on and be with me here today, Heather, and to everybody that tuned in today. Thank you so much. And every week we'll be here at 4 o'clock Pacific with another voice of a woman that's getting it done. Thank you, Heather.
Thank you, Marsh. Love you. You're awesome. You're getting it done. That's great.
That's right. Let's do this. I'm going to talk to you soon.
Okay. Aloha.
Bye-bye.